Hi, and welcome to Chamber Chat TV. I'm Danielle McFadden, President of the Chamber, joined by
Emma Brooks, Director of Member and Community Relations.
We are very excited to have our first guest here today, no stranger to anything Chamber or anything Chat, Kevin Farrell from the Northeast Independent Living Program, also known as NILP. How are you doing, Kevin?
Good, Danielle. And of course, it's great that we're now in downtown Lowell.
Yes.
This is 6 months anniversary of
6 months already?
since April.
Wow.
We're in downtown Lowell at 35 John Street, second floor, providing services to people with disabilities throughout the entire northeastern Massachusetts.
How's it going in Lowell?
Very good,
Great.
very good. I'm one of the people that transferred from Lawrence to Lowell. I mean, it was a no-brainer. It's a lot closer to where I live than, you know. However, I think it's important for people to realize that we are in Lowell, and if you have people that have need of our services, people with disabilities, seniors with disabilities, give us a call, drop by and see us, 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, 35 John Street, second floor.
So for those viewers that don't know NALP and what you do, could you please give them some information?
Okay. The Northeast Independent Living Program was founded in 1980 by people with disabilities as an advocacy organization to help people who needed to find housing, they needed to find jobs, but it was much more basic in those days. People with disabilities were not expected to work, or were not expected to be out in the mainstream of the community as they are today. So a lot of people felt that, you know, let's promote and let's help advocate for people so it's easier for people to be living in the community. A lot of our participants work, whether it's part-time or full-time. Many of the people at NILP are actually people with disabilities. So a lot of times if somebody has a disability, they're coming in, they're talking to a peer, someone who's already walked the walk or been down that road. And it's particularly difficult for people who, say until midlife, they've been working, they're living with a regular situation, suddenly they get in a car accident or some kind of issue develops, and suddenly they have to relearn how to do things that we all take for granted. So that's where we come in. We're there to help people. We're an information, a resource organization. I know our name says Independent Living, and a lot of people think that we're an independent living apartment center or something, but we're not. We're a resource. We'll help you find all of those things. Of course, the Chamber's been really great in assisting us, and I have to say to everybody looking at this TV program, if you're in business and you're not a member of the Greater Lowell Chamber, talk to Danielle or Emma, and you should be, because the reason I'm on here today and our organization is on here is part of our membership. We have television and radio programs that we can get on. And the Chamber does a lot of great things to promote your business.
Thank you, Kevin.
I know, I just figured I'd put that in. I mean, it's, we're, you know, we just, I'll just hold this up for this is our latest annual report. By the time you see this show, our annual meeting will have already commenced. But every year we have and hold an open house and an annual meeting, and we encourage people, both our participants and members of the business community and the general community that support us, to come by and check us out. It's been many, many years, 1980s. To me, it sounds like, oh, that's just a few years ago, but that's almost 40. It's 38 years ago.
We weren't even
Yeah,
on
okay,
this
we won't
earth.
even go there. That means that I'm old. I don't have to deal with that, but I appreciate the opportunities, like being on here, to talk about what NILP does. Now, we're a 501c3 nonprofit. Obviously, donations from viewers would be greatly appreciated. We're at nilp.org is our website, and donations can be made. You can use your credit cards or through PayPal, or you can send a check made out to NILP.
Or cold hard cash.
Well, you could come in with bags of cash too, but that's probably not going to happen. But we do appreciate donations from the community, because we have people that volunteer. We have a hardcore list of individuals that are always there to volunteer whenever we need them. And we have people that donate every year. Some are your local businesses in the greater Lowell area, and greater Lawrence, Haverhill, and the whole northeastern Massachusetts. But it's, with the holidays coming, I'm just suggesting that if you would like to donate to a worthy nonprofit like ourselves, you can go to nilp.org and use your PayPal, or use your credit card through PayPal and make a donation, or send a check to NILP. You could send it to 20 Ballard Road, Lawrence, Massachusetts, 01843. Now,
For anyone who's not familiar, can you talk about the areas that you serve with NILP?
the areas, we have services for people with mental health issues. We have services for people that are coming out of more restrictive settings. Each year we get over 100 people relocated from nursing homes out into apartments in the community with a much, with a much better standard of living. I mean, they were people that didn't belong in nursing homes. The staff in the nursing homes will tell you they don't belong there. And sometimes it's just because it's so easy to get people into a nursing home, that's where they wind up. And to the credit of the nursing home staff, they're very appreciative that we work very closely with them. We also work with Elder Services of the Merrimack Valley to relocate people back into the community. Now, the community is all of northeastern Massachusetts, which is basically part of the North Shore, all of the Merrimack Valley, and as west as Acton and down through Malden and that general catchment area. And even if you call us up at 978-687-4288, and you're not sure if we should be helping you or some other organization, there are 11 non-profit independent living centers in Massachusetts. And like every other group, they have a service area. And we'd be more than willing to tell you if you're not in our service area, we'll tell you the name, the number, who to contact with the organization that could help you. We also have a program in the schools for youth with disabilities. Both during the school year and in the summer, we have a program where about 20 to 25 youth get their first job, a 7-week, 20-hour-a-week job that we receive the funds for. The employer just has to provide the insurance and the training to the individual. And for some kids, that's their first job. And you talk to anybody, do you remember your first job? And some people talk, oh yeah, I was there for 5 years. And other people, yeah, I lasted 3 hours, I got fired. But I mean, that's life. Many of these kids have never even had that experience. You know what's interesting about the 20-hour-a-week job? In the summer, it's not part of the program, but every year, at least one of the area employers in Lowell, Lawrence, Haverhill area will ask the young person, can you work after school part-time? That's a real win-win, because
great.
now they've got a part-time after-school job. That's not the intent of the program. The intent of the program is to give them the experience of having 7 weeks worth of work. They can put it down on their resume.
Mm-hmm.
So those are some of the things that we do. There's a lot more. We work closely with Elder Services of the Merrimack Valley, because seniors, often as they age, become disabled.
Definitely.
Or
Need
have one or more
assistance.
disabilities, and they need some assistance in how to work with that.
And you've talked about some of the things that you do, but you came here to talk about your TLC, which is your Training and Learning Collaborative.
Right.
Such
The
a great opportunity for employers.
It is, because one of the issues about TLC, and I just put a little blurb, I know it's going to be on the screen afterwards. Every month we have a 1 day a month, one whole day of training. It's disability awareness and cultural competence training. Basically, we tell employers about the Americans with Disabilities Act. As an employer, you're subject to a lot of different laws, and sometimes people know what they are and sometimes they don't. And this is a way to learn about it, and we use role playing. The event is limited to 16 people. The 4 trainers are all people that have disabilities, some visible, some invisible. It's $99, and it includes a full breakfast and a full lunch. It's held at our location in Lawrence, which is in the industrial park, good parking, 20 Ballard Road in Lawrence, and it's from 8 o'clock to 4:30. And it's a chance to learn more about, what it's like to be disabled, and also about the law and what it requires and what it doesn't require, because there's a lot of misinformation out there about the Americans with Disabilities Act. It's limited to 16 people. We have 2 dates remaining in this year, November 16th and December 19th. We limit it to 16, so if you're interested, call 978-687-4288, extension 162, and ask for Sheila Haggerty. Or you can send an email to shegarty@nilp.org, and Sheila will give you more information about it and how to sign up. And for those that need CEUs, like nurses and social workers, CEUs are available if you request them as you're signing up. And we encourage people from business, people from the medical fields, and from other nonprofits. We have several major health insurers and nonprofits that we've been training hundreds of their employees over the past 4.5 to 5 years. So it is an opportunity. It's something that we can do, and we'll help the business community because they certainly help us, and we're very appreciative of the business. We only charge the $99 because it's just to cover the food, and we have to bring a couple of the people we bring in are from outside that do the training. However, if you're an employer, a big employer, and you say, well, gee, this is great, I'd like you to come, and we will custom tailor a training to you. We will come at your time, whether it's 2 hours, 8 hours, and we can travel, and it isn't $99, it's a different price. We'll negotiate that, but I think for companies to realize that they have an opportunity to learn about this, to avoid problems down the road. I think I want to emphasize the positive aspect, and it's a chance to learn more about folks with disabilities. They make great employees, they are looking for work, and in this time it's hard to find good help. There are a lot of people out there that many times people don't consider, and yet they would work out very well. So come and learn more about the Americans with Disabilities Act.
Now, I know this training is interactive. Can you give people some more information on how it's interactive?
Well, there's role playing. People assume roles. If someone was disabled, they're going in for an interview, or maybe there's a curb, and how do you get around that? Those are couple of the obvious ones, but there are a chance for people to assume roles of someone who is disabled and to learn more about what is or what isn't. I think it's important to consider that, and we appreciate your support. NILP.org, the website has all the details. You can sign up right online, and it's limited to 16 people. I know there's several people already signed up for the November training.
What makes TLC stand out from other organizations that are doing similar types of training?
Well, that's a good question, because there are national organizations that do sort of this training, but it's not set up in a role-playing. It's more of a lecture student, people reading from a prepared synopsis, that's a syllabus that they're working from, whereas in this case the people that are training you are people with disabilities who've walked the walk or who've been in some of those very situations that you're role-playing. And I think it's also an opportunity for the people who are the students to ask a lot of questions. It's very often things that are based on a national basis. They have to be structured as such, as the laws in states are very different. This is based for Massachusetts. Your business is in Massachusetts, then you want to hear it from us. You don't want to hear from somebody from some other place that may not be totally aware of the laws of the Commonwealth.
And I don't know all of the trainers, but I know Sheila Haggerty. She's fantastic, and she's an open book, and you said people are welcome to ask questions.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure you get some valuable insight that you would not get somewhere else.
That's true. That's very true. And it's, we're not making money on the one day. It's more of a chance to expose employers. Some employers, small employers, they might send whoever does their HR, and That's more than adequate for them. For a bigger employer, we have a couple of employers that there's one where we've done over 1,200 of their employees in the past
Amazing.
4.5 years. So
Wow.
whenever they hire anybody, we're one of the stops on the list of people that
Yeah.
are going to, they have to see. Yeah, and it's always appreciative too that sometimes the employers come away with a totally different viewpoint. And I think that's the important thing. I mean, our purpose is not to challenge people. Our purpose is to educate, inform, and make people aware. I think that's the mission.
So for anyone who wants to support NILP and all the wonderful work you do or just get more information, how can they support you guys and how can they reach out to you?
Well, there's a couple of ways. First off, there's the website, nilp.org, which has samples of some of like the TLC videos, and it's going to have some other videos about who we are, what we do. There'll be pictures, there's descriptions. We also have our annual golf tournament in June.
I get that whole spiel. I could do that.
Yeah, I know you do, I know. We probably have another opportunity, a couple more
You
opportunities
definitely
to do
will.
that. But that's a major fundraiser, and at near the holiday season, we have our Independence Fund, which we try to raise money for. And what that does is when we get people out of a restrictive setting, we're putting them in the community. Yes, sometimes we can get a governmental or a social service agency to support aspects of rent, et cetera, et cetera. But think about all the things that are under the sink in the bathroom or the kitchen. Probably $500 worth of soaps and chemicals and cleaners and stuff. But nobody pays that. So we have the Independence Fund, and we use the proceeds of the golf tournament and a lot of the donations that come in to the Independence Fund for that. So that makes
So
it easy
important.
for us to actually, we've got everything but we don't have enough money to buy this or buy that. And sometimes people who've gone into nursing homes, everything's been given away. Think about it, everything's been given away. And so the Independence Fund is very important. And you can go to nilp.org and donate the credit cards using PayPal, or write a check to NILP and send it to NILP at 20 Ballard Road, Lawrence, Mass. 01843. And we thank you in advance. All donations will get a written receipt for whatever purposes you need it for, taxes or whatever. We always give written receipts for every donation we receive.
Excellent. And I know that they're going to be playing a video that you submitted, but also I want to mention that it's Emma's last show. Emma is moving. You didn't know that?
No.
Oh, I thought you knew that at the expo. Surprise!
I know.
Emma, it's
Breaking
Emma's
news.
last week. She's going to Enterprise Bank to be their community relations coordinator.
Oh, well, Enterprise Bank is one of our big
And-
business
and-
supporters, so congratulations. I'm
Thank
sure our
you.
paths will cross.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So we're very happy for Emma. So I just
Oh, that's
figured-
great.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
They're a great organization. I'm also a customer, and of course, NILP is a customer of Enterprise Bank. So.
There we go. So thank you for joining us, Kevin.
As always, thank you for the opportunity. And the Lowell Chamber does a lot of great stuff.
I
You know
might
that.
need a co-host sometime, so
Always.
I know where to look.
Give me a jingle.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick break, show you a wonderful video, and we'll be back.
The technology, the creativity.
their own countries, but to
Lowell Telecommunications Corporation.
The world comes to Lowell, Massachusetts.
Does your business want to be identified as a community partner?
តើអ្នកមានបំណងចង់ឲ្យក្រុមហ៊ុនរបស់អ្នកជាដៃគូសហគមន៍ដែរឬទេ
Reach 30,000 households in Lowell as an LTC programming underwriter.
អ្នកអាចសម្រេចគោលបំណងនេះបានដោយធ្វើជាអ្នកឧបត្ថម្ភកម្មវិធីម្នាក់របស់ទូរទស្សន៍ LTC ដែលអាចផ្សព្វផ្សាយព័ត៌មានទៅដល់ 30,000 គ្រួសារនៅក្នុងទីក្រុង Lowell.
Get the details at ltc.org/participate.
Everyone has a story. I had some very difficult times. One might talk about abuse and neglect in the family, which is what would be said in my file. What I really had to hurdle is being able to say I am a peer.
I mean, I really have to say that I have really lived a full and complete life. I mean, it's not done yet. Maybe I've got another 40, 50 years, who knows. Constantly explored not only who I am, but what I can do with who I am, and fully realizing not that I have limitations, but that I have all these possibilities.
Our story, our shared perspective on producing a customized training curriculum as well as consultation on disability awareness and cultural competence is what makes the Training and Learning Collaborative, TLC, truly unique from all others in the marketplace.
The beauty of working with the Training and Learning Collaborative is that they bring a very high quality training design combined with facilitators with lived experience.
Our goal and objective is to design custom tailored training programs for businesses that deal with the needs of persons with disabilities within the business.
With the implementation of the One Care program, our company has grown by leaps and bounds, so we've hired a lot of new people. And most of those people don't come into the company with any kind of background in disability. This training module is absolutely essential.
June and I spent a lot of time talking about our specific needs in terms of understanding disability culture and competence, the American with Disabilities Act, and serving the disability community. And they came back with a phenomenal training design for our folks and just a really impactful day.
Making access real for all is a core tenet of all of our trainings. Access for all means that you have to really think differently about what does access mean to that individual so that they're getting the full experience that anybody else is getting.
To have better programming, lower costs, you have to change the way you think, taking into consideration the broad range of needs, wants, and desires of all of your customers as well as all of your employees. It's good business. That, to me, is the bottom line.
The brilliant way that they have designed and developed video, it's almost like having a third facilitator helping to bring the topics alive.
We all have different styles of learning. Some people read, some people are auditory.
So how do we make sure we mix and match the knowledge and the content so that we're hitting all those diverse learning styles?
We provide discussion and discourse. And then we also provide case scenarios where they really have presented with a problem and they have to work through it.
We can structure it so that we can measure that learning as occurring.
Bert and June are very engaging and charismatic people by nature.
I can't tell you how many people come out of that training saying, wow, that was really fun.
Bert is very funny. He asks a lot of questions that make you think. June, she's amazing. Her personal story in the beginning was very, very touching.
You have the tools now that will allow you to interact with that community.
It's not very often you go to a full day training and it's really, really enjoyable.
Human beings are here for a really short time. I believe that it's my role to teach people that we're whole. I think we're all complete.
Our commonness is on the fact that we are survivors.
The Training and Learning Collaborative, TLC, is the education division of the Northeast Independent Living Program. We provide services, programs, and advocacy for all people with disabilities who wish to live independently in the community. Contact us today, and we will put more TLC into your organization to help meet all of your needs.
Does your business want to be identified as a community partner?
តើអ្នកមានបំណងចង់ឲ្យក្រុមហ៊ុនរបស់អ្នកជាដៃគូសហគមន៍ដែរឬទេ
Reach 30,000 households in Lowell as an LTC programming underwriter.
អ្នកអាចសម្រេចគោលបំណងនេះបានដោយធ្វើជាអ្នកឧបត្ថម្ភកម្មវិធីម្នាក់របស់ទូរទស្សន៍ LTC ដែលអាចផ្សព្វផ្សាយព័ត៌មានទៅដល់ 30,000 គ្រួសារនៅក្នុងទីក្រុង Lowell.
Get the details at ltc.org/participate.
The technology, the creativity,
Their own country, but
Lowell Telecommunications Corporation.
The world comes to Lowell, Massachusetts.
Hi, and welcome back to Chamber Chat TV. I'm Danielle McFadden, President of the Chamber, joined by
Emma Brooks, Director of Member and Community Relations.
We have John Younger here. He is the owner of Assisted Living Locators. I love your business. I think it's so needed and so cool.
Thank you, Danielle. Nice to see you, Emma.
Nice to see you too.
So can you tell the viewers what you do?
Sure. So, Assisted Living Locators, I'm a business that helps people navigate through the system and the process of trying to find the safest and healthiest assisted living and memory care. There are so many different choices out there. And you can look at an independent living, you could look at assisted living, you could look at memory care, but you don't know if you are looking at the right place. So what I do is I help people through that process. I help them ask the questions. First, I sit down with them and do an assessment, meaning not a nursing assessment,
Right.
but just a question. Questions like, where do you want to be? What did you do when you were young? What do you like to do now? What are some of the medical needs? Some of the things that you need assistance with, if any. And probably most importantly is the financial, the budget, because there needs to be a budget set aside for this type of a move.
For sure. Actually, I was at Brookdale in Chelmsford the other day, and she showed me some of the apartments, and I was surprised. I thought it was going to be like their penthouse. So that's what I called it, at least. I said, "How much is this?" And I named double what the price was.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I actually had this notion that it is an expense, but it's an investment in your life, really.
Right.
But yeah, I thought it was going to be more.
I try to take away the shock factor of that, or set the expectation. So when I'm sitting with a family and we figure out, well, let's just say they want to go to assisted living because they don't want to shovel the snow at home anymore, they don't want to cook anymore.
Actually, I think I want to go.
There's some great places out there. Maybe they just need some help in the morning getting ready for the day, or just some reminding of, well, there's this great activity going on at this particular time. Or I think one of the biggest needs for assisted living is medication management, and that's where folks are on a lot of different types of medications, and it's just a way of keeping it straight. So that's something that is probably the first of the needs that someone needs. So I set the expectation, what to expect when you get there, and what not to expect. They all have entry fees. They call them community fees. So I use community and facility interchangeably because folks are more familiar with the word facility, but they're really not facilities, they're communities, because it's your home.
Definitely.
It's where you're going to be moving to and spending the rest of your life at. So some of the expectations that really comes around finances. So I can say right now, you should figure on at least $5,000 a month. But with that, you're going to get all these great activities, all this wonderful social interaction, all your meals.
Good meals.
Good meals, too. And there's some places that don't do such good meals, and I know those things too. So I've gotten to know all of the different communities that are out there in Essex County, in Middlesex County, in southern New Hampshire, so that when I sit with a family, we're going to decide on 2 or 3 places to go to. And I'll go with the family and help them ask questions, because we don't know what questions to ask because we've never done this before. You know, you walk in and there's a nice chandelier and the rugs are nice and clean and people are smiling and happy, but the chandelier is not going to be the one taking care of you.
That's for sure.
You know, and this is something I have to remind my clients about. And it is great. It's awesome, but you got to dig a little bit deeper, scratch the surface a little bit, make sure, take a look at the people who work there. Are they smiling? Are they happy? Or are they sitting in a corner grousing about something? Are they engaged with the residents? Are the residents smiling and happy? Talk to the residents as you pass by. Stop. How you like it here? How's the food? Food's very important.
Food is very important, for sure.
I've actually had somebody move out of a place because they didn't like the food. But I was able to help them find a place that had better food. And usually I've eaten at the different places, so I kind of know.
I'm sure they want to give you have you sit down and have a meal because you're referring people.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I was saying earlier, we only do 2 or 3. Because just in this area alone, let me think about this. In a 10-mile radius, there's 20, 25 places you can look at.
A lot.
It's so overwhelming if you don't know where to even start.
Absolutely. It's absolutely overwhelming. It's emotional.
Sometimes you're in crisis mode when you're looking, too.
Yep. I've had
rush into something that isn't the best fit.
No. I've had folks that you need to turn around in 3 days. I've had folks that do planning, and I work with them for about a year. The planners are great because you get your estate planning set up, and you get your LLR attorney set up, and your financial planning, and then you're like, well, I'm thinking about 6 months. I'm thinking about going to assisted living. It doesn't happen often, but planning is important.
Those are the superstars.
Those are the superstars. Exactly.
Those are the people that don't procrastinate when they were in school on their homework and their essays and things like that.
Right.
So I like how you mentioned that you know what questions to ask, and I'm sure there are a few important things to know about what to look for. So you already mentioned a few of them. Are there any that you want to add on to that?
Well, I think, and this came up this winter, this is probably one of the most important questions and one of my favorites to ask, one of 2 to ask, is I now ask them about their backup power system. We had a very tough winter. There were some places that generator kicked in, everything was great. There are other places where the generator kicks in and maybe the apartments themselves aren't set up for ongoing electric. Or maybe everybody had to kind of go into the main community room and do a box lunch or something like that. And that does happen. Most of the places are beginning to change out. Some of the older places are changing out their systems because of what happened this past winter. So in the middle of summer, you don't think about it, but you really need to know that, is the whole place going to be okay? Or am I going to have to anticipate moving into a different room and kind of hanging out there, or going to spend a week or so at my kid's house for the heat and the food and all that stuff?
Absolutely. It's a great question. What's the other question that you like?
Well, the other question's got to do with paper products. And it's an unusual question, but it's one that, the reason why I ask it is I had a client just say, moves in and there's no toilet paper in the bathroom. And she says, I'm paying $7,000 a month and I can't get toilet paper.
Interesting.
It's something you wouldn't think about, but there are several answers. There are a couple of all good answers to that. This is your home. This is your apartment. When you go into an apartment and you're renting it on your own, do you walk in the bathroom and see toilet paper? No, you don't. No, so you have to supply that yourself. Another reason behind that is the places, the communities don't have enough room to store big Costco-sized rolls of toilet paper.
You just deliver it with the newspaper in the morning.
There you go. Yeah, they do deliver newspapers. They all.
Yes,
you can get your newspapers. And the one that's most common is, we do supply the toilet paper, but it may not be to your liking.
Some people want that Charmin, not the two-ply.
Right, exactly. So you're always better off looking at this as your home, your apartment, and knowing that, well, I'm going to have to bring my own paper products. I'm going to have to bring, supply my own linens and towels and furniture and all that kind of good stuff, because that's, that's the idea behind assisted living and moving to your next home.
So you're talking about sheets and that type of thing. A lot of the places do laundry services.
Yes, they
correct?
all do laundry services. They all do once a week. Some of them will do personal laundry. Sometimes there's a fee attached to that, sometimes there's not. But normally the weekly housekeeping is included in your rent. So you get your meals, you get all these great activities. You get most importantly, you're going to get the socialization with your fellow folks,
Peers, yeah.
your neighbors. Because too many people are out there just living in a house by themselves, and it's amazing the change in personality when you have someone that you can go to the museum with. You can take a trolley drive around the canal. You play bingo, if you want to. There's all kinds of clubs, reading clubs, chess clubs. There's actually a trend where there are more men now surviving and living into assisted living, so that they're now men's clubs.
Wow.
That percentage is
gosh.
going up. Just in the 2.5 years I've been doing this, that percentage has gone up probably from 15% to 25 to 30% of men and women.
That's interesting. Yeah, they don't have anybody to cook for them or do their cleaning. They're like, heck, I'm going into assisted living.
Yeah.
Have somebody do it for me.
Yeah.
So what made you get involved in this industry?
Well, that's a great question. Everybody who's is in healthcare has their own personal story. So my story really is I had an aunt who was getting sick and needed to go into assisted living. It was probably 7 or 8 years ago. And there's a very large family supporting her, so I was on the outskirts of it. And as they were going through the process, they did a lot of traveling around, looking at places. The bottom line is she ended up moving 3 times in 3 years because of miscommunication and not understanding. Now, the understanding and expectation has to come from the family, but the understanding and expectation also has to come from the community as well, because they need to know who you are and why you're coming in and can we take care of you. And the family needs to know all those things about what are the extra costs going to be, if there are going to be, how much is it going to cost. Because with my aunt, it was expectations weren't being met because nobody talked about those expectations. That was the question about the $7,000 on the toilet paper. That's where that question came from. So that's what I do. I just decided that there had to be a way of putting myself in the middle and act as an educator and a liaison for these families and the residents, in the communities as well. And so that's what I've been doing for the past couple. I spent a lot of time, I spent about 2 years researching and talking to different assisted livings and talking to hospice places just to kind of get an idea of what it would be all about. And 2.5 years, the things are fantastic.
That's
Love
great.
it. It's awesome. It's awesome.
That's great.
Now, people are probably thinking, all right, we're going to be paying to go to assisted living, and then we're going to have to pay you.
Right? No.
No.
No. I am a totally free service to the family.
Yes.
I get a compensation from the assisted living community. So I work out like a broker, a real estate broker. I work out a commission structure and I've done that with pretty much all of the assisted livings that I cover, where they give me a commission for whenever somebody moves in. Now, because I have that relationship with most of them, I'm not going to be favoring one place over another. I'm going to be favoring the place where I think that my client will be the safest and healthiest. So I'm not going to drag you someplace because they're paying me more money than the guy down the street. My goal is to make sure that my client gets into the healthiest and safest place. Now, having said that, I've also done free placements. I've placed where in maybe a lower income or moderately income community that can't afford to pay placement agents. I've done that at no charge, because that's, like I said, that's my goal. But if I do a nice job for you, you're going to tell people about me.
Absolutely.
And that's my biggest challenge is letting people know that I exist, the service exists, and why would you not do it.
I know.
Seriously.
Get a consultant for no charge. Why would you not do that?
I mean, even if you're thinking down the road,
Yeah.
have a conversation with John.
Absolutely.
And it's not like you're just saying, okay, this is where you're going to go. This is what I recommend. You'll take them to several different
We
places.
all traveled. I'll go with them.
Yeah.
Not just send them off by themselves, because questions are important.
Definitely.
And needing to know what you're getting yourself into is important.
And you know the right questions to ask.
I do.
We have a few minutes left, so I feel like we've covered a lot of this, but anything else in terms of how to determine the best place for your client?
We've covered a lot of it. It's really, where do you want to be? People from one town very strongly don't want to go to another town. Well, they beat us in football one year, so we don't want to go there.
70 years ago.
No,
They might forget what they had for breakfast, but they'll remember that grudge.
The rivalry of different towns. Know what your budget is, because that's going to be long term. I mean, you could be living there for 2 years. You could be living there for 20 years, depending on how old you are. Make sure you ask about what are you doing for activities. Go and have a lunch. Go and have a lunch.
Really
drop in
smart.
drop in unexpectedly. You don't have to have an appointment. It's nice to have an appointment, but go back and have a lunch, or go back and drop in late afternoon when there's getting ready for dinner. And talk to the folks who live there. Talk to the folks who work there. Call me.
Yeah, so what's your number?
508-878-8878. And the
And
website is assistedlivinglocators.manh.com.
and just call John and have a conversation.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. I say it all the time, but this is like one of the coolest businesses.
Oh, thank you. I
Yes.
really enjoy doing it.
Yeah, you can tell. It's contagious, and it's such a needed service
Yes, absolutely.
in this area and really everywhere. So it's our final send-off with Emma.
Very bittersweet.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to miss my time here and doing Chamber Chat and the awesome staff at LTC. You guys do a great job with the show, and couldn't do it without you.
So Emma's been with us for almost 4 years, and you're leaving to go to a great one of our members. So we're happy. Hopefully, we'll still bump into you and see you. It's just me working downtown still. So
Definitely. Yeah, it'll be weird to be on the other side and be a member of the Chamber instead of working for the Chamber. But definitely very sad, very bittersweet. Gonna miss you and the whole staff and all the members. So
You'll be missed as well.
yes,
Absolutely.
big time.
thank you.
So thank you for tuning in, and you're going to have to tune in next month to see who's sitting next to me, because I don't know.
I know I'll be tuning in.
So check us out on at our website, greaterlowellchamber.org, and we'll see you again next month.
Does your business want to be identified as a community partner?
តើអ្នកមានបំណងចង់ឲ្យក្រុមហ៊ុនរបស់អ្នកជាដៃគូសហគមន៍ដែរឬទេ
Reach 30,000 households in Lowell as an LTC programming underwriter.
អ្នកអាចសម្រេចគោលបំណងនេះបានដោយធ្វើជាអ្នកឧបត្ថម្ភកម្មវិធីម្នាក់របស់ទូរទស្សន៍ LTC ដែលអាចផ្សព្វផ្សាយព័ត៌មានទៅដល់ 30,000 គ្រួសារនៅក្នុងទីក្រុង Lowell.
Get the details at ltc.org/participate.
The technology, the creativity,
They're all country, but
Lowell Telecommunications Corporation.
to Lowell, Massachusetts.